Welcome to the another video of the basic electrical engineering. In this video, we will give emphasis and understand the concept of Thevenin theorem, and also we will do some numerical on Thevenin theorem. Also, we will carry out the understanding of maximum power transfer theorem and some of its numericals. Let's check about the Thevenin theorem here. In the Thevenin theorem, I have drawn the circuit like this. Here, there is a linear two-terminal network. A network is shown as here this linear two-terminal network, and with the end terminals are like 1 and 2. This is nothing but we can see any circuit is there with, you can say, let us say there is a positive and negative volt, and there is a resistance over here, and let us say there is a current source, again there is a resistance, and then you have got a resistance again here with like this, and now you have got a load is connected across with it, one resistor or anything else is connected like this. So now if the values are given here with different values of Vi, R1, R2, R3, R4, and you have here RL, R5. Now if I will change the value of RL, like initial like 5 ohms, I will say RL is 5 ohm, then you will use a node or mesh analysis and try to solve and find out what is the current through this RL. Now if I will change the value of from RL from 5 to 6 ohm, then also you will go and do the mesh and node analysis and find out what is the value of the current flowing from this 6 ohm. So now since we every time the value of the RL changes, we have to solve the equation. So here the RL is at the one end of the network. It looks a little bit simple for you that this is one end of the network and you can easily do it. Let me take some other changes over here. Let us say this is R5 and this is R4, and here is your like RL. Now the circumstances changes. Now this network, this entire circuit, you have to visualize in this way, like this is visualized in this way, and this load RL is taken out. So anyone like in a like examiner can give anyone as the load resistance, and if that is a load resistance, you need to find the current through it. So you take out that load resistance out of it and say this is a load, and the entire circuit you will represent it as a linear two-terminal circuit. Is it okay? Now the current will flow from this and you have a voltage across it. So if this is RL, you can say this is a VL, and the current which is going through it is a RL. Now Thevenin what it says that if this entire network can be converted into these simple two networks, that is you have got you will have the entire network is converted into simple two element, that is there will be a voltage source in series with the resistance RTH. That's all, nothing else. These two will be there, and the same node terminal will be here 1, another node terminal will be here 2, and that is connected with the load connected with it, right? So if this is if this network can be connected like this, then how easy it is to solve it. Like now, if this current is IL and here you have got a VL, you need to find, or you can write the equation now. What is that? You can say IL is equals to VTH by the series resistance, that is RTH. This is not the VTH here. This is not the VTH over here. Rather, VTH is the Thevenin voltage over here, and here you are finding out the load, VL, right? VL. So here you can write down as IL is equal to VTH by RTH plus RL. So in that way you can easily find the current. Earlier you have to recalculate every time and find out the value of current through RL. But now if the entire circuit can be converted into a two simple element, that is VTH and RTH, you can simply find the value of the current. Thus we can say like Thevenin theorem is, it replaces two terminal circuit containing resistance and source by simple equivalent circuit. The circuit that you have seen here, this circuit that is being seen here, that is nothing but it is a simple equivalent circuit of it. So term is the equivalence here. So there is an equivalence term that is called equivalent circuit, the two terminal net circuit, because the entire thing is between the two terminals. See, the terminal is 1 and terminal is 2. Here also it is converted into 1 and 2. So replace two terminal circuit containing resistance and source by simple equivalent circuit. Thevenin equivalent circuit was developed by M. Guillaume Thevenin in 1883 and is a French telegraph engineer. Now Thevenin theorem states that a linear two-terminal circuit can be replaced by an equivalent circuit consisting of a voltage source VTH in series with a resistance RTH. Okay, so this is what Thevenin theorem says. What is VTH? So the question is now, okay, fine, a circuit can be converted into VTH and RTH, it's equivalent circuit. So what does it VTH mean? VTH means it's open circuit voltage or at the terminal, like the terminal we see there 1 and 2. So this is the open circuit voltage. In some book you may be saying VOC, you may be written V12. So that is open circuit voltage across this entire terminal. It is what we are interested for, VTH. And RTH is input or equivalent resistance. Input or equivalent resistance at the terminals when the independent source are turned off. That means there is a procedure to calculate RTH we will be looking at here. So its independent sources are turned off. That means you have to find what is the equivalent resistance of this network that you see and looking from the load end. So there you have to find the RTH, and there is a condition. You can find the resistance, equivalent resistance. But if there is a current source or voltage source, what to do with it? So that is how we need to understand a bit more of RTH. So network with only independent source. That means if this network is there with only independent sources are there, like you have got current source or you have got a voltage source. So if a network is having the only in current source and voltage source, turn off all the independent sources. So you have to turn off them and replace with their respective internal resistance. You will not simply just take it out. You have to replace it, a voltage source, by its internal resistance, that is R0, that is R which is 0 ideally, and current source which internal resistance R which is ideally infinity. If the values are not assigned, so you have to take the ideal value. So this is one case. Another case is that network having dependent sources. If a network is having a dependent source and independent source together, you do the same thing with the independent source that you have taken in case 1. But if it have a dependent sources, then that is another side is there, that for the independent sources you have to turn off and replace. But for the dependent sources, what you have to do? Let us say in a network there is a dependent current source is there with a value of like Ix, 4Ix, like this. Current source, dependent current source is there, and now some resistance is there, and this current source is okay. Another we can add one more, and with the resistance, and I will say that this current, this Ix is nothing but it is here. Now somewhere it will ask that, okay, let us say a voltage source is connected like this. Now somewhere it is asked that find the value of the RTH. Now to find out the value of RTH, you can short circuit this, fine, because it's a voltage source. Now the resistance are there, you can easily find, but there is a dependent current source. So therefore it is said that you will not going to touch this dependent current source, let it be there. So you can just redraw the circuit with the dependent current source like that, and you just add the other things as it is, and the voltage source will be short circuited, and after that you have got only, like the circuit is like this, A and B. So here you have got Ix. Now the question arises, how do you find the value of RTH? Because you don't have all the resistances are not there. There is no, it's not like all the resistances are there. There is a resistance as well as a current source. So for that reason, you have to apply a voltage here. That means you have to give a voltage over here, that is V0 you can say. If you give applied a voltage V0, you apply V0, then you will get obviously a current I0. Okay, excitation and response you will take, and when you find the ratio of the excitation by response, you will get the value of RTH. Like that. Otherwise, as I told, one excitation and response, you can have voltage source and you will get the current. Same thing, you can give a current source and also you will get what is the voltage across it. In that way also, if you can find out what is I0, then find out what is V0, then that is also okay. That means in case there is a dependent sources, then you have to give a input to it, some arbitrary input V0, and calculate the value of I0. In that way you can do and you can complete. So now we have seen that the value of how to calculate the value of RTH. Similarly, there is a probability that you may get, in case of dependent source, RTH is negative. That implies that the circuit is supplying power. Now the question is, how does a circuit with only passive network or give a supply of power? Yes, it is possible if the circuit is having a dependent source. In that case, there is a possibility that it can have a negative current. V0 is positive but current is negative. In that case only you have got a resistance may be negative. So if a dependent source is there, you may have a negative resistance. So let us do a problem based on the Thevenin theorem and try to find out the answer. So here in this problem you have been asked, find out the current through 8 ohm resistor. So the load is this 8 ohm, and now we have to find the value of IL. So here how do we solve? Obviously we have to redraw the circuit. So just take out this entire circuit from the load, assign the load with the terminal 1 and 2, and take out the load. If we take out the load, our circuit will be somewhere look like this, with loads taken out. Now this circuit, we have an option of solving it in a different way. Suppose you want to find here VTH, what is the Thevenin voltage. So you have to find what is the voltage between 1 and 2. If you find the voltage between 1 and 2, you will get the Thevenin voltage here. So how to find the Thevenin voltage? You can take a node voltage on this side, and after you get a node voltage, you can take like this V1, and you can write the equation of it like V1 by minus 16 by 2 plus V1 by 6 plus, one more thing here to remember, like this 2 ohm, and we have disconnected this circuit, this 2 ampere, it is going into the node and it is not splitting up here. So we can simply write this as minus of 2 is equals to 0. In this circuit everything is known, we can simply find the value of V1 from here. Also we can apply the mesh analysis and solve this one. So let us see. So you have got to find the value of V12. So what we have did is for finding the V12, we take out the value with the mesh analysis. So if you apply the mesh analysis over here, it is minus 16 minus 16 plus 8I1 minus 6I2 is equal to 0, and from mesh 2 we can easily write it is minus of 2, because our assumed direction is clockwise and the current in the mesh 2 is upward. So we get this value, and solving this value we can easily get the value of I1 is equal to 1 by 2. And if I1 is 1 by 2, what is I1? I1 is a current through this. So let us calculate the potential across 6 ohm, because if I take the potential across 6 ohm, I will get the value of V12. So V12 is, what is the potential? 6 into I1 is going down, so I1 minus I2 is going up. So it is like 6 into 1 by 2 minus of minus 2, and it will come out 15 volts. But here we tried, previously we tried like this, and it seems like very easy. Let us do that. What is, how much we are getting? 1 by 2 plus 1 by 6, and here what we get is minus 2, and this minus 16 by 8 is 8, and this is equal to 0. So here V1, here we get 6, this is 4 by 6 is equal to 10. So here V1 is equal to 60 by 4, that is coming around 15. So like that also in node analysis it looks very easy to solve, and we solve it quickly. And so this is just one example. Like in mesh analysis also you can solve, and here also you get the same answer, 15 volts. So anyway, you have solved this. That is, what is the first thing objective is to find out the value of the VTH, that is 15 volts, that you have got by taking the voltage across this, and that VTH is now is there for the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Now next objective is to find out the value of RTH. Now RTH you can find that for that all are independent sources. So if all are independent sources, so simply this one will be short circuit and this one will be open circuit over here. So this is like open circuit over here. So entire circuit will look like this. Now if this circuit look like this, it's very easy. These two are in parallel and along with this 2.5 in series. How much we are getting? Let us say, okay, we are getting here 4 ohms. So now we have got 4 ohm as RTH and 15 volt as VTH. Here this is not the value. This is 15. This is 15 volts as VTH and 4 ohm as this, and 8 ohm is our, that is the load. So just put the value 15 by 4 plus 8, that will be 15 by 12, that is 1.25 amperes. So now we have solved this entire problem by using a Thevenin theorem, and we get the value is 1.25 ampere. Now is it let us say this circuit is given and I don't want to use Thevenin theorem, and I just want to find what is the value of IL if 8 ohm is there. So is it possible? Yes, we can use the node analysis over here and simply we can write in the equation. Yes, it is possible. One as node and we can take the other as reference. V1 minus 16 by 2, then V1 by 6, this is minus of 2 because our assumed direction is downward, this is going upward, and here it is V1 by 10.5, and then we solve it is coming some numbers, decimal, because lower is also, denominator is also decimal, so we get ultimately 1.25 ampere. So we just proved it that if we solve it without using any Thevenin or something, just node analysis, we got the whatever answer. If we use the Thevenin theorem and get the value of VTH and RTH and put it, then also you get the same answer. So this is how the Thevenin theorem is so useful to solve. Now let us take an example of a dependent source, and this dependent source is taken so very easy one so that you can understand, and we are not finding here VTH, rather only we are finding the Thevenin resistance. So Thevenin resistance we have to find, and since there is a dependent sources, you cannot just like eliminate the current source, it has to be there. So what you have to do, so you have to give here one potential, so you can give a potential or a current source. So you can have two options. You can give V0 and calculate what is the value of I0. So if the circuit look like this, so obviously you can use the node analysis here V1 and you can solve it. Now the same circuit you can also solve with the same thing. Only the difference is that the network will be same with the dependent sources, whatever. And it's 1 and 2, what you will do, you will add here a current source, not dependent. You have to add here your current source in the upward direction, and here if the current source you are giving, obviously you will get a voltage across it. So all the resistance term will be same, 2Ix will be same. Here Ix is upward, this Ix is upward. That means if this is a dependent current source, remember that the sign is downward. Ix is depend on somewhere in the net circuit. In the somewhere means at 2 ohm the current is upward. So that is how you can find the value of Ix and put it here, and this is a dependent current source. So let us solve one by one. So the taken is I0 value is taken, and if I get the potential over here V1 and reference, then my purpose is solved. Simply node analysis, it's a very easy circuit. So we can simply say here the current is going down, so 2Ix, here is V1 by 4, here is V1 by 2. That means we can write applying the KCL and Ohm's law at node V1, and here it is going upward, so minus I0 is equal to 0. So this is one equation. Another equation is the finding the Ix. Ix is what? Ix is V1 by 2. So I can write Ix is equal to minus V1 by 2, because my assumed direction is downward, V1 by 2, and Ix is upward. So we get these two equations, and this is sufficient to solve the problem. Now this is the equation we have written. And then if we substitute the value of Ix over here with the V1, now we'll get in terms of V1 and I0. So here it is. So we get the value of V1 and I0 here, and that value is V1 and I0 is minus of 4. So we are getting the answer is minus of 4. This minus of 4 is now the value of RTH is minus of 4. Now this problem has been solved with the current source has been given as a source, and we find out what is the voltage V0 and take a ratio of it. And V0 is nothing but V1, same thing. Now we have got another option is that I will now give here the plus minus with V0 and say that current which is going is I0, and now find out what is the value of RTH. So here V0 is given, I0 is given. No, what we did, we just take the value of from this node analysis. We can simply say that V1 is nothing but V0. It is easy. And another equation what we get is Ix relation. The Ix which is upward, that is Ix is minus V1 by 2. Since V1 is nothing but V0, so we can write it like this. So since we can write that like that, so here we can write the equation here. 2Ix is going down plus V1 by 4, V1 by 2. This minus I0 I am using it so that I can put this in the equation. And then we just put the value of Ix here and get the value of V0 by I0, and again we get minus 4. So you have seen that how by taking the source as V0, also we can take the source as I0, we can easily solve the problem and get the same answers. So that was here till we have understood that how the Thevenin theorem is so useful to convert the circuit. So any type of network is there, whatever the load is given, you can convert that circuit into the Thevenin equivalent circuit. Now how this Thevenin equivalent circuit is related with maximum power transfer theorem, that I am going to speak out. The maximum power transfer theorem, what does it mean? It means that suppose a network is there, right? This is a network, and it is having a network, and that network you have now beautifully converted that into a Thevenin voltage and Thevenin resistance. Now the load is connected. Now the question arises that what should be the value of load so that the power transfer is maximum? Where is the application? There are many applications where this is used, like a photovoltaic cell, right? A photovoltaic cell is there. A photovoltaic cell has got its own resistances, network resistance, all those things. So you calculate what is a Thevenin resistance. A photovoltaic cell, they have got a potential. So what should be the load resistance so that maximum power will be transferred from the source to the load? From photovoltaic cell to the load, maximum power will transfer. Somebody will say, sir, when the current is maximum, the power transfer will maximum. That is not always the case. We will see in just after 2-3 slides that is not the case. You cannot say that if a current is maximum, because the mind will come that I square R, right? So this is the relation. Let us put the value V by RTH plus RL, that is the value of IL, and we square it, that is V square into RL by this. This is a simple value of PL that we will get. Now, for maximum power, what you will observe that there should be a relation that if RL is variable, if the term RL is variable, so we know that now that if suppose dy by dx or dy by dt, if we have a derivation like that, so dy by dt, so at what value of time the y is maximum? So you will say, okay, this is the dy by dt with time, and y is changing. So at what value of time this is maximum? So you will say this is the value. So at this value, when the y is a straight line, you have to write the dy by dt is equal to 0. So that is the condition of maxima, minima. So you can find the maxima when rate of change of y with respect to time is 0. So here our variable is RTL. So therefore rate of change of power with respect to RL should be 0. So therefore at maximum condition is this. So we take the value of power, derive it with respect to RL. This is denominator square into derivative of numerator. RTH is constant minus numerator into derivative of the denominator, and ultimately what we get is RL is equal to RTH. So what did you get here? You get here the maximum power is transferred when RTH and RL both are equal. So this is to be keep in mind because somebody is having a doubt in that why not RL you make very low 0.0001 and the current will be very high. Is the power is going to be maximum? No, the power is going to be maximum when RTH, when load resistance is equal to the network resistance. Then there is a matching and then you say the power is maximum. So from that you can get a curve like this in the experiment. Suppose you are doing in the lab. So you take the first value of RL as a maximum value. You can have an open, RL is maximum, you can have open circuit like RL is not connected. Then because these Thevenin resistance and Thevenin voltage, this is already there in the network. Now you have the point of RL. This RL is, let us say, open and then very high resistance, then gradually you decrease the value of resistance. Decrease it, you will get the increase in power. Then after that, if you beyond decrease, then you find the power is decreasing and decreasing. You can reach up to here. So pointed as is, why did I make this a dotted line over here? Dotted line is, you cannot decrease the value of RL beyond a certain limit. So if you decrease, suppose this RL, like to say, suppose you are making this RL 2 ohm and again you decrease to 0.5 ohm. If you go on decreasing, so it may happen that the current will exceed the rated value. The current which is flowing in the circuit will be very high and it will be dangerous for the RTH to sustain it. Right? If the current will be very high, RTH may burn, the network may burn. Therefore, there is a limit. So this is the limit value of the RL decrease. Therefore, it is dotted line. So most of the time, you will not get this entire curve up to 0. You will get up to here only, and then you can put it a dotted line and say it's being at 0. So that is how the maximum power transfer theorems are done practically in the lab. And here PL max is given, and max, if you put the value of RL as RTH or RTH as RL, then you will get in terms of this VTH by, better write in terms of RTH. So here you will get this is VTH squared by 4 into RTH. That is a maximum power that is being transferred. Now let us do some problem out of it. So the question is asked, determine the value of RL for maximum power transfer, find the maximum power. So we have got this network here in the circuit here. RL is a load. So why don't we remove this load and redraw the circuit and try to solve. So by redrawing the circuit, what we are going to do, we are going to find what is the Thevenin voltage. So here, to find the Thevenin voltage, again we can use a node analysis, find out the V1 over here, and then find out what is the value of between 1 and 2. Between 1 and 2, we can find what is the open circuit voltage or Thevenin voltage. So here is a circuit where it is been solved over here. Applying a node analysis. So while applying the node analysis, what we've done is, so this is just V1. You can write the applying KCL and Ohm's law at the node 1 V1. So here all the currents are assumed to be going out. So this current is V1 minus 12 by 6, and this is V1 by 12. 12 is the resistance, and here the current is actually going in this way and coming to the reference here, because there is no current will go from this 2 ohm. It's an open circuit. So if the current source is there, obviously the current in this wire is 2 amperes, so it is minus 2 is equal to 0. So this is what equation we get. Here only one variable, so we get the value of V1 is equal to 16. So now if V1 is 16, our objective is to find V12 here, that is between these two. So if we find V12, which is nothing but V12 is nothing but VTH, so we want a voltage across this. So we can say this potential, whatever potential is V1 minus the potential over here. If we subtract this potential drop at 3 ohm, it is going to get the answer. So V1 minus what is the current in this direction? Opposite of 2, that is minus of 2 into 3. So now our potential get 22 volts. So like that we get the value of VTH as 22 volts. Now what is the next objective is to find the value of RTH. RTH, obviously it's a simple circuit. This you have to make it open and this you have to make it short. So if we do like this is open and this is short. So now this circuit is very easy. These two are in parallel, 4, 4, 3, 7, 8, 9. So you have got this RTH value as 9 ohm and you can easily solve this value. So if you substitute these values, so you get the value of RTH. So what should be the RL? RL is 9 ohms. And what is the value of power? Power is a VTH squared by 4 RTH. That is how you get 13.44 watt. So now you have seen that by using the Thevenin theorem, you have understood clearly that what is the Thevenin theorem. Hope you have understood nicely. And once you have done the Thevenin theorem, you can implement it for maximum power transfer theorem. So by now you must have completed, you must have been familiar with KCL, KVL, node analysis, mesh analysis, and you have superposition theorem, source transformation, and now this Thevenin theorem and maximum power transfer theorem. Now any other theorem if are there, so it can be learned, self-learned by just applying any one of them, and you can correlate them and get your answers. So that's all for this DC network analysis. Thank you very much. See you in next video with another topic.